Welcome back to another episode of Look What Jess Found. Today's episode 841. Yesterday's episode was pretty good. We got, what did we find? 8 copper pennies, which was great. And a bunch of shinies. Found the one lamination era, that 1980 Woody. And I was talking about, if I recall correctly, that's about all to expect, you know? Here we go again. This is it, man. It's the whole ball of wax. This is it. Some shinies and some coppers. I mean, that is beautiful. That's all I'm hoping for. You know, I have my little hobby in the morning. I have my cup of coffee, my cup of Joe, and 2017p. It's an odd one. It's got some odd lines on it. Just making sure it's not a die clash. And is this copper paint number 1? What do you think? Nah. Nope. Come on, man. Don't mess with me. Stupid 99s, stupid dirty 99s. All right, that defeat are too close together. I don't want to hear it. All right, let's look at the difference between that one, the one we find. I still have it on my desk from the other day. I mean, I'm just hoping that this is the white AM. That's from the other day. Yesterday we found another 99. I took this one out the flip. It was from the day before yesterday. Huh? Yesterday? No, it was from the day before yesterday, not the day before the day. All right, anyway, look at the A and EM, the bottom, right? See the little bit of has space in it. Now, how about this one? No. Okay, so there's a difference. You can see that I can see the difference between these two. And I really thought this was not a white AM the day before yesterday. And I looked it up and I found it on the I found one graded and it looked exactly the same with the skinny little leg and everything. And I was like, I think Sweeze got. Imagine talking like that, putting an S at the end of everything, like a snake. Like if you're a snake from the Jungle Book, I think Sweeze got us. Oh my goodness. 2024. And of course, finding a 2025, you got yourself a quarter right there. You know, all you gotta do is find a 2025. That's an odd 88. Look at the surface. Those look like polishing lines. Let's see if we got the. I've never found it with the flare G. I gotta get a new one of these today. They must, you know what? Let me get it up. They're plastic. They are, man, what are they called? Oh, what are these things called? Little eye things. Anyway, maybe I won't look for it right now. Let me check this 88. I'm trying not to get too far off track. No, it doesn't have the flare G. Ah, it's got the die. So it does have a die clash. I saw it under the with the loop. That's what it's called, a loop. You see it right there? So it had a die clash. They polished it off on both sides. And you can see the over polished one. It's not a great example, you know. It's not a keeper. Someone asked me the other day, what makes something a keeper? You keep something because you like it. I mean, kind of a silly question. Now this is what I have to say to people. If you're asking me what I consider, not what you consider a keeper. Okay, I'm not trying to be I'm really not trying to be sarcastic, right? But that's a very general question because everybody, what do you consider to be a keeper? What would you keep? Oh, me? I don't know. If it has value, I'm going to keep it. If it's a shiny, I talk about it in every video, right? If it's a shiny, I keep it. A shiny zinc. I keep copper. I look for, see, this one I won't keep, right? It's got the dirt on it. But anyway, if you're asking me a question, say you. But I can't speak for the world. What do people consider keepers? Whatever they like, man. That's the great thing about this hobby. And look, this is a keeper for me, right? Well, this is going to go into my well, I think this is going into my MS role. This is up there, man. This is MS condition. So I categorize everything, right? I'll talk about that today. I categorize everything. And if you're really, I mean, if you're new to the channel, welcome. If you've only watched one or two of my long episodes, welcome. But really, if you're not going to commit yourself to watching videos, right? I mean, this is 841. If you're not going to watch the videos every day and then you're going to ask me questions, like that's pure laziness, man. You know what I mean? Don't Go look it up yourself. I'm not your Google, go Google it, you know. So it's kind of annoying, it's like, and then you have other people who are no white AM. Other people who are watching the videos and they're putting their time into and they're committed, and and now they're interacting with me and they're not, hey, what's this? What's that? You're not even watching the videos, that's not cool. Oh, that's a shiny. Woo. I wish it was a 2025. I thought maybe it was a 2025. That's how new it looked. So I will hold on to that one. But that's what I do. I categorize everything, right? So this is an 82. I categorize it, goes in with the 82s, right? Because 82s, they have varieties. I separate all the different condition copper. I save the shiny shields, the shiny zinc. I save all my wide AMs. I look for the close AM. I've never found a close AM. I look for the 1988 Flare G. But I talk about this. I've reviewed these errors in detail in my videos. And okay, so for those of you who do not know, right, if you don't know this, there's a search bar. Every YouTube channel has a search bar. That includes me. I'm part of every YouTube channel. There's a search bar, and anything you can think of, you can type into, right? You can type it into the search bar. Anything. Wide AM, Flare G, Shiny Zincs, Shiny Lincoln Memorials. How I categorize. You can put categorize. Anything you want to put in, you could put in there, and you're going to get results. And all your dreams will come true. 1992, if this was a close AM, it'd be worth $100. But it's not. I never found one to this day. And that's it. That's the whole ball of wax. That's what 2017 Ps. I hold on to these. Why? Because it's the only year that a United States penny, no white AM, had a P put onto it. And that's it. And somebody one day might want a roll of them for $2 or $3. And I could say, hey, I got to circulate a roll of 2017 Ps. You want it for $3? They go, yeah, I'll take that for $3. All right. So I found them. So that's what I do. That's it. Simple, man. In Alcoholics Anonymous, all the anonymouses, there's a saying say, a saying that you say. Saying that you say. Who knows what I'm gonna say of the saying that we say, that they say. Keep it simple, stupid. That's it, man. That's the saying. Keep it simple. You know, if your life is getting overcomplicated, start to decomplicate it. Telling you, man, just that's it. That's Dr. Phil in a bottle right there, man. Gave you the best life advice I can give anybody. If your life is getting too complicated, obviously due to your own machinations. You know, you're doing the wrong thing. If your life's getting too complicated, you're doing the wrong thing, you know? Um, well, that's not, you know what? Sometimes stuff happens, right? You just got a kid. You're going to, while you're going to, I mean, obviously not a great time, to have children when you're in the middle of going to college full time, but stuff happens. Okay. Well, then you gotta, somehow then you have to ask for help, right? You gotta ask for help. You gotta have your support system there, But now, if every time you're going to then something else is going on, right? If you're popping out babies every time, you know, now you're going for your master's degree and you get pregnant again. It's like, okay, all right, something's, you're not that smart. Or, so again, if you're the type of person that likes drama, penny roll hunting's probably not for you, right? Because this is a slow pace, snail's pace type of thing. It's relaxing. Not too much copper today. 3 copper pennies. That's it. I know there's like two or three more here, but that's really, really low. So if you're a drama queen, or the type of person that likes to have a complicated life, well, you're gonna reap your own rewards. I remember when I was younger, right before I met my wife. I have to add that into this. I lived in New York. I lived with my mother while I was going to school. While I was going for my master's degree, I lived with my mother for 2 years, just so I can, not have rent and concentrate and focus on my master's degree and pass. Got pay number 4, and I think like a couple months after I graduated, I got 2 jobs and bought a house. I mean, like within 6 months, I was out of graduating from college, and I think my sister had a party or something like that, or my mother had a party anyway. And I have no my mother was a nurse for 40 years, so she knew a lot of people. And if she would have like a get together, I would see people I never saw before, right? Anyway, so she had this party, and um this lady came, right? She was older than me, but she was pretty. And I remember years later, me and my mother were talking, and I ended up very well together. And I asked my mother about Leia. Whatever happened to that really pretty lady that came to April's, my sister's party? And she told me this whole story about how she got on drugs with her and her boyfriend, and then I think the boyfriend either died or went to prison for a long time. And it's like, what are you doing, man? Like people have, anyway, stuff like that. You know, it's those are the things that complicates people's lives. You know what I mean? They just get into a lifestyle. That's like so key, man. What are you doing with your life? What are you involved with? Obviously, if you're doing drugs and drinking on a regular basis, or hanging out with miscreants, then forget about it, man. You're done, man. You're done. You're done. You're done, man. That's number one. People, places, and things, man. You got to keep away from people that are bad news. Super, super important, man. She looked like the type of chick that would have became like, whatever she wanted to become. You know what I mean? And and my mother went on to tell me, oh yeah, she lost all her teeth. I was like, what? I couldn't believe she bugged me out, man. I remember that story. I say, remember that nice looking lady that came to the April's birthday party? I'm going back a long time when I remember the conversation. But this is just to show you. And she went, oh yeah, she went downhill, and that blah blah. Boyfriend went to prison for a long time after beating her up, and they got on drugs, and she lost all. I was like, what? Not that it totally it did surprise me, but this is, you know, have your crap together, man. If you're involved with people, cut them out. Move, move. Go to a different state, man. Just bounce. If you can't, like, if these people always, if you can't get yourself out of that situation, leave. You know, when I was doing drug and alcohol, that's a nice shiny shield. Drug and alcohol counseling. I worked at a couple detoxes. I was a supervisor of a detox, and that's what we did all day long, sending people to rehabs. And they used to have these, they're called TCs, therapeutic communities. And I remember there was one in Boca Raton, Florida, and it was self pay, and you sometimes they would do scholarships, and we'd have to apply for the scholarship, and that was it, man. You left for 6 months. Those TCs were 3 months to a year, 3 to 12 months, and most of them were like 6 months minimum, and that's it. You had to go, and that's what it takes, man. You got to go and you got to leave. And back then they would put like if you did stupid things, they would put a sign around you that said "big baby," and you'd have like walk around with a bib. They would embarrass you. And what they said, and you can't do that anymore in any of these TCs. Too much PC in the TCs, and you would what's it called? Oh, they would. You had to break down your image. They would deconstruction, right? Break down who you thought you were to build up who you're going to become. That was the philosophy, and so much truth to that, and people are resistant to change. Anyway, that's all I got, man. Sometimes I get on these little tangents and I start talking about weird stuff, but that's life, And what I found to be the key to all of that is Christ. Most of the self-help meetings before, most of them, I don't know about anymore. I haven't went to one in a long time. And they would say our Father, they would say prayers. Us, they were dope, man. I was a younger guy, and that's not where I found Christ. I found Christ in a totally unexpected place, but I had that exposure, and I think that exposure to prayer and Christ's teachings, that exposure really prepped me for, or helped me understand the message, So it was cool, man. I had a really cool spiritual experiences in my life, and I'm so thankful for that. And a lot of people, they just don't get that message. And anyway, God bless. I'll see you in the next one.